Okay, Justin, so our first question for you tonight is, how come when we ask God a question or we're praying, we don't hear him or he doesn't answer us?
Okay, how many of you guys ever had this question before? Ever wondered why your prayers weren't being answered? Okay, there are many things that we can talk about when it comes to this, but one verse in particular comes to mind, and hopefully this helps. James chapter 4 and verse 3. It says in James 4, verse 3, it says, "You ask and do not receive." Why? Because you ask wrongly to spend it on your own passions. So if you pray and you say, "God, please help me win the lottery so I can have this nice mansion and throw parties all the time," you're probably not going to get the answer that you want because you're asking something kind of selfishly. So when you're praying, a good principle to keep in mind is, the thing that I'm praying for, am I praying for myself or is it more other-centered? And we learned that God by nature is wanting the best for others. And so when we pray, really we should be praying more for other people and for their benefit so that we're praying in line with God's will.
Thank you, Justin. Now our second question for you is, how do we completely let go and let God work?
All right, for this one I actually have a really cool illustration that I want to get your help with. Can you guys go grab the props over there? Can I get a volunteer? Preferably a stronger male would be better.
Oh.
Yeah? Anyone up front here? Caesar? Come on up here. All right, Caesar's going to help us out. Give him a hand. All right. You ready? Okay, we actually got some things I want you to hold on to. These boxes represent the world. They're not that heavy. None of them are heavy. But I want you to hold on to all of them. Sometimes when it comes to the world, we have a lot of things that we have to carry and hold on to, right? You ever felt like there's a lot of things that you're trying to hold on to, right? That was pretty good. You caught all of them, too. All right, now can you grab the last prop? The question is, how do you hold on to the, or how, can you repeat the question? Sorry. Let me get the exact wordings of the question.
Oh.
Do we have it?
Yeah.
All right, okay, so the question is, how do you completely let go of the world? Well, if you're holding on to the world, it makes it really difficult. Oh, let's see if we can get it through the door. Turning it on the side. There you go. All right, here we go. All right, Caesar, now can you hold on to this? That's the correct response, right? Can you hold on to the world and simultaneously hold on to the cross? Yes or no?
No.
So if you're holding on to the world and you try and pick up the pieces of the world, it's a lot more difficult, right? So, thank you, God. You can put that down now. You can just leave it there. So the answer more so is not so much how do you let go of the world, but more so how do you hold on to God. Does that make more sense? There's an interesting story of these people that were helping out with a hot air balloon. And they were holding the rope down so the hot air balloon wouldn't lift up. But unfortunately, the hot air balloon got too much lift. And it started lifting even though 4 grown men were holding onto the ropes. And as the rope was getting, as the hot air balloon was going higher and higher, what you had seen is that these guys were actually getting lifted off the ground. Now, some of them made the wise decision to actually let go early on. And so that way they weren't very hurt. They maybe fell from 10 feet or 15 feet, and it wasn't deadly. But a couple of people actually held on for too long, and they were getting injured. But there was this one man who actually, for not just a minute or two, but as the hot air balloon is going up, for over half an hour, he's holding on to this rope. The reporters come to ask him afterwards, how in the world did you hold on for so long? And he said this, he said, you know what, I tried at the beginning to hold on, but it was getting really difficult. My hands were getting tired, and I wasn't sure that I was going to make it. And finally, I got to the point where I realized that I simply couldn't hold on anymore. So rather than try and hold on to the rope, I grabbed the rope and I tied it to myself. You see, if you're relying upon your grip strength, and if you're relying upon your own powers to hold on to Christ, you will ultimately fail. The secret isn't so much you trying harder to hold on to Christ, but allowing Christ to hold on to you. Amen? And for that, all you need is a complete surrender. Does that make sense? Amen. All right, maybe we can move this stuff to the side so we don't get distracted from the message.
Thank you so much, Justin.